Hey everyone, Jim Fitzpatrick. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. Cox Automotive released its year-end predictions for how 2025 is looking for the automotive industry. Today, we're continuing the conversation with a look at the market overall. Here now is Erin Keating, the Senior Director of Economic and Industry Insights at Cox Automotive. Thank you so much, Erin, for joining us on the show today.
Of course, always good to see you, Jim.
Let's start with the overall economic outlook. What is your crystal ball telling us?
Yes, well, if you heard Jonathan Smoke, what he's been calling this is the Goldilocks economic outlook. Not too big, not too small, but just about right. So we're feeling pretty optimistic. I mean, the momentum is building out there. The risk of recession is pretty low. We've seen clear raising in dealer and consumer sentiment. We're predicting a modest growth of 2.6% next year. So overall, we are very optimistic about 2025. That doesn't mean that we are ignorant to the fact that there are a lot of things out there that Trump is throwing around and the administration is potentially throwing around that could throw hiccups into the industry. But right now, that would be impossible to do the mental gymnastics that we would need to do to see all the different scenarios play out. And in the end of the day, those would take some time to come into play. And therefore, the near-term growth outlook is pretty good.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there seems to be a sense of urgency from consumers. What does this tell you about affordability?
Sure, exactly. I mean, affordability is getting better. We're seeing rates lower. We're seeing loan performance improve. And therefore, we are seeing that customers are saying, you know what, now might be as good a time as any to get out there. And whether it's to get ahead of any potential EV tax credits going away or any potential things happening with the economy later at the end of next year or going into 2026, we do see that the customers are coming off the sidelines and coming into the market and taking advantage of the wage growth that we're seeing and the stable unemployment that we're seeing and getting to the dealer lot. So it's all bright news for the end of the year, especially going into 2025.
Well, that has to have dealers optimistic going into the new year. What are you expecting out of the market performance-wise?
Well, I mean, we're going to see that 2025, we're suspecting is going to be the best year we've seen since 2019 at 16.3 million SAR.
Nice.
That's up 3%. Exactly. We do expect even that used will go up, even though we will see some tightened inventory in used vehicle market. This will be the third straight year of growth. And we do think that profitability will still be better than 2019 for our dealers.
Wow.
Even if it's not going to match that those unicorn years of 21 and 22, it's still going to be a great year of growth for our dealer profitability.
Well, you can't get through a conversation without addressing electric vehicles, especially given the recent announcements coming from the incoming Trump administration. How do you see 2025 shaping up for electrification transition?
So some might be surprised how optimistic we are, but we do think that electrified sales are going to make up 25% of the market next year. We think about 10% of that is going to be electric vehicles and 15% of that will be the plug-in hybrids and hybrids. At the end of the day, we've got about 15 new models hitting the market. We've seen that, yes, Tesla is still a dominant player in the market, but they have been steadily losing share to really exciting products that are coming out from all of our other automakers. And so with more variety coming onto the market, as well as people, again, maybe getting ahead of fearing that the leasing loophole will go away or that the credits will go away, coming out and taking advantage of those beforehand. And we've also seen a lot of states that are really coming to play as well. So yes, there's the federal credit challenge that we had that it might go away, but the states are playing ball here, and the states that have been really successful at growing their share in EV sales, we see them continuing to keep that momentum going for their states. It's important to their legislative areas, and so in those localities, we think that the state incentives will still remain strong. We think automakers are going to still be incentivized to move the metal, so to speak. And infrastructure is certainly still improving. We've seen this year, we hit over 200,000 charging stations. So the confidence in electric vehicles, I think, is moving in the right direction. Even if, we get a setback with incentives going away at a federal level, we believe that we'll still hit that 1 in 4 consumer driving an electrified vehicle next year.
Lastly, what are you seeing in consumer behavior and sentiment?
That too is rising. We just finished our Q4 dealer sentiment survey. So from a dealer sentiment survey, it was the highest it's been in quite some time. Consumer sentiment, and the consumer sentiment specifically around car buying, has reached the highest satisfaction levels it's done in the 15-year study that we've done. So we saw
Wow.
75% of buyers are happy and have overall satisfaction with the
That's
buying
great.
journey. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of dealers have really come to the table. It's not just about the technology. It's not just about the vehicles that are available and the incentives. Dealers have come to the table with mixing good technology innovations to
Yeah.
satisfy consumers and with still having great in-showroom experiences with their sales folks, with their service departments, which is necessary. That's what clients want. They don't want to just be online. They don't want to just be in the store. They want to do both. And our dealers have done a great job of making that possible.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the industry is going to be, it sounds like it's going to be a great ride for auto dealers in 2025.
We are excited, I have to say, Jim. I think it's going to be a good 2025. I look forward to seeing the energy at NADA in January and to
Yeah.
continue to be able to report on great sales.
Erin Keating, Senior Director of Economic and Industry Insights at Cox Automotive. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining us here at CBT News.
Thank you. Happy holidays.